Now I screwed up. That's great.
Arrogance and ales.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Arrogance and Ales. I'm Fraz. He's JJ. I think we may have lost Josh to somewhere in Atlantic City, randomly roaming. Hopefully, we'll find
He'll
him
be
soon.
popping in soon. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? So as what we always do on this show is we talk about what's in the news and what we're sipping on. But we're going to do a little navel gazing, even more than we normally do in the beginning. We just want to once again thank you to John and Bree at Good Time Tricycle for throwing an unbelievably awesome beer festival. It was, I think, a little over 15,000 people that went through AC Beer Festival. It
Wow.
was really cool to see people again, and nobody was weird. Like, people were hugging and stuff, and that was like, maybe that was the alcohol that helped that a little bit, but everybody was having a great time. Less Than Jake was really awesome. They played the Early November, I guess, is an old screamo band that people know. That I was like, I don't know. We were on Podcast Row with a couple really cool podcasters. The ones that were the nicest to us were the Wart and our buddies at South Jersey Beer Scene. We're on a couple of their YouTube hits. Thank you guys again for that. And we hope to get back and invited next year. We had a lot of cool interviews. We did some stuff for charity. We got to meet Kelsey Grammer. We did talk to him, but the audio was trash. So we just kept it moving.
The funny thing you told me was he would always drink wine. You know, it would look like he was drinking wine on the set of Frasier, but was he really drinking wine?
No, he said no. Said absolutely not. He said, I was always drinking beer. And I was like, really? He said, yeah. He goes, that was just for the show. I always had a beer close by. I was like, that's kind of awesome. And his brewery is called Faith American. It's on an old farm that he had bought, and it had been I guess not used for years, and they converted it into a brewery. They make a really awesome blonde ale. It was definitely something that if Josh was here, he'd be like, crispy boy crushing it. Yeah, and it definitely was. Some of the highlights from the festival I thought were alternate endings from New Jersey. They're a brand new brewery that opened during the pandemic. They had some fire. So please, people, you can get a chance to get their stuff, go get it. Also, The Seed out of Philly, which was really awesome. And they're kind of like a known hypey brand here in our section, and their stuff was really good. And they had a really nice crispy boy and a really nice IPA. And with that, let's start with what we're sipping on. JJ, what are you sipping?
Well, the Duclaw rep stopped in today. I haven't seen anybody from Duclaw in a long time, and I guess the guy's name is it Brock? I think it's Brock. He stopped in. He's a VP of sales. Never the sales rep they hired never went to see anybody, so that's why I never saw anybody. Anyway, he dropped off Sour Me America. It's a what's the ice pop that looks like that? What is that?
Oh, those are Rocket Pops.
Rocket Pops. It's a can that looks like a rocket pop.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I don't know anything about this beer, so we're gonna give it a shot.
Sour Me America. Let's see what we got here.
Drinking it out of my Dick's Last Resort pint glass. Did you ever go there?
Of course. I like getting screamed at when I'm drinking.
Good sour. Tart, a little sweet. Really not a lot of fruit that comes out. Just that like a general sweet tart. It's good.
That's nice. Let's see here. Sour Me America. Like patriotic, lip puckering fruit popsicle in your glass. We brought together 3 refreshing fruit flavors to rocket into summer. Sour Me America is brewed with cherry, raspberry purees, lime juice, and tart cherry juice. Sip freely. Show. And then it's 5.5 ABV.
Yeah, I mean, I get all those. They blend together nicely. It's a well balanced sour. It's not too tart, not too sweet. It's good.
All right, JJ, how do you want me to start? Do you want me to start drunk or do you want me to build to it?
I want you to start with that big ass abomination beer.
For the ASMR crowd, that got us views right there, guy.
Now, which one is that? Dreamscape.
Uh-huh. Oh, I
So is
will.
is that the sour?
No, I went with the IPA. I I,
Oh, it's
I,
the
I
IPA.
can't.
All right.
I'm not doing 11% sour right now and not going to appreciate myself afterwards. Let's see here. Dreamscape. Thanks, Josh, for not being here because you put one of your most descriptive descriptions. There is none. A triple IPA brewed with raspberries, granola, yogurt, cocoa nibs, and lactose. 10% alcohol.
My big question here is, I want to know: do you taste the granola in the IPA?
I really hope you do. I really, really hope you do. That's kind of what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. That's
Whoa!
the right
Look at
color.
that. Damn.
That's red as shit. All right, I get the yogurt, which is surprising.
You get the
Um,
yogurt?
I do. Well, I think what the yogurt's doing is smoothing everything, so I don't get that wicked acid from the. Oh no, this is the IPA. So then what it's doing is actually killing the hop. It's the yogurt's probably more of a whatever to give it this unbelievable bot. It's straight up like feels like I'm drinking a milkshake.
It looks like a milkshake.
Yeah, it yeah. I mean, it's got the lactose in it too. So the raspberry.
Looks like parfait.
Yeah, I mean that's what he was going for. Is
Yeah,
a
yeah.
parfait. A parfait he made because this is the kind of psychos they are. It's Abomination and Skygazer. What up to Skygazer? They decided to do the same like stuff in a triple IPA, a imperial stout, and an imperial sour. And so that's an interesting concept. I won't go through the gambit tonight because I'd like to be able to go up my steps. But I very much enjoyed this beer. Give me a minute here.
Is the hops real prevalent or not?
No,
So the that stuff that the adjuncts they added kind of cuts that out.
yeah, but I definitely think what the yogurt did is take the stinginess of the raspberry
Mhm.
and instead of turning it into like a sour IPA, like a tart IPA,
Which
it's
I
much
hate.
more- yeah, I mean, I always like if you're gonna be a sour IPA, just tell me you're a sour IPA so I know what I'm looking for.
I think sour IPAs are my least favorite style of all time. If I don't think there's a worse style to make.
I think that when the kings of sour IPAs, who I believe is Hudson Valley, starts coming into to our market, you may change. It's just such an actual hard thing to make. Sour IPA, I find, is like it's almost got to be your style. If you're like just like, oh, I'm gonna make one of these, never seems to work right.
So Jolly Pumpkin soured Alien Church. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
That had to be the worst beer I have ever tasted in my life. It tasted like aspirin. Like I was eating aspirin. I think I may have a keg of it in the cooler that we never
No.
sold. I never wanted to put it back on tap. I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'll eat it. I don't want it on. I don't want it.
Oh yeah, I had bottles of those for way too long on my shelves. Considering like, bro, it's tired hands. You can't get tired hands. No, you guys like us all their perma smiles or whatever the hell. It's one of their sours. Come drink this thing.
We're all pumped up to have tired hands. We get this beer that's complete shit.
Ugh. Oh yeah, who's got control of the soundboard now? That's right. And considering, let's see what's in the news. I love it. Sounds so professional. And then 4 o'clock news. the freeways and byways are looking clear right now. Accident on 22 on ramp at Fullerton is getting cleared up, and looks like we're still going to be able to get home, people. Yeah, and on to beer news. So let's look at some sad news about what's Kraft doing. Kraft is down 17% in May. Now, when you start digging into these numbers, it's dollars. They're not down percent. They're not down market share. They're only down less than 1% in market share, but it's dollars. And everybody is basically blaming this on the fact that Memorial Day was on a different weekend. I still don't really understand how that changes everything. But if I hear that one more time in any meeting or any sales thing that I'm going in the last 2 weeks, it's just so interesting.
Well, Memorial Day fell a week earlier last year. To this year, it fell the week after. The week has nothing to do with it. The weather has everything to do with it.
Yeah.
And the weather was complete shit in the Northeast. Complete shit.
Yeah, it's cold. It's so cold.
So that had more to do with it than the week. Whoever's telling you it was a week is just an idiot.
How about these guys right here saying that Memorial Day timing not quite right. Not quite right to rate apples and apples since the holiday was a week later in 21 than it was in 20, and this data only tracks through Saturday of the holiday weekend.
See,
so maybe that's
yeah. Well, timeout. So if you look at our whole month of May, I look at numbers all the time. Our whole month of May, we were up 5%, and other stores were up a little more. Other stores were up a little less because I talked to people, and that down number. If you're looking at Memorial Day weekend, that's weather related only.
Yeah, I would agree because nobody. I mean, now that you could go out, everybody would have gone out, but it was freaking like 50 degrees.
Yeah. And I don't know if anybody looks at this, but there's trading days, and a lot of people that aren't in retail are not in number in when you're looking at numbers regarding weeks and days. If you're trading a Friday for a Monday, that's generally a bad thing, right? So if you have a Monday this year and a Friday last year, probably going to be down, or you're going up against some tough comps. So you got to look at that stuff too.
True. Both cans meanwhile, both cans and IPA though seems to be gaining in craft. Despite declines, they are now outpacing total craft gains. They are looking slightly earlier Nielsen data. Let's see, they are up 5 to 6 points. And does anybody care about this stuff? Let's see. They're the only gainer. Sours were down just 4%. But of course, our favorite non-alc beer up 32%. People, it's Memorial Day. Drink alcohol on Memorial.
Yeah, you go from 2 to 4, you're up 100%. I don't.
True. So I'm gonna finish this and get to my next one. Let's see. I'm gonna drink the sour last. What are you? Oh,
I will say I looked at some numbers this week, and we talk about seltzers a lot on this show. And White Claw seems in our store now. I don't know if it's everywhere, but I'm seeing White Claw take some hits, and truly is on fire. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's packaging or if it's the product itself, but White Claw's taking a hit. Truly is up tremendously.
Wow, JJ, it's almost like we talk about this before we do it. Next topic, seltzer no longer setting the world on fire. My happiest day. We've been doing this.
So that was a great lead in to your comment. Yeah, awesome.
That's why we're good teammates and people like our banter. But before we get into my favorite topic of the day, for once not a happy topic on seltzers, I'm going to drink a Burley Oak Dream. Burley. There we go. If I could spell, that would be great. Dream. And which one are you? This is the double berry cherry.
We had one of theirs on tap a couple weeks ago, and I
Mhm.
could not believe how much of the granola taste came through. It was
Really?
freaking awesome. I mean, I think it was one of the best sours I've ever had.
An imperial sour ale with lactose conditioned on raspberries and sweet tart cherries. A sweet tart cherry feels like an oxymoron to me. But let's find out. 7% ABV. We are just as red and wonderful as the last beer, which, thank you, raspberries. This is a very tart nose. No, it's all right. It's exactly what it says it is. It is raspberries and cherries. I can taste it, and I can taste the lactose too, which is what I don't like. The lactose takes a little of the sting out, but it's still sour, so it's still there.
That's not a one with granola, right? That's okay.
No, just a regular. It's yeah, like I said, raspberries and sweet tart cherries and lactose.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You got to try. Have you ever tried the ones with granola?
No, I just got the carrot cake one, which was crazy. It tasted like carrot cake.
Oh, they do
So-
a great job with those. They do.
That's weird as shit. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Brian, I see you. I see you. All right. Now back to my favorite topic. Seltzers no longer setting the world on fire. So let's check out with some of the largest distributors in around all the country about seltzer outlook. Almost all are seeing seltzer growth slow, though it's still an important contributor to their business. Will that turn around in the back half? Some are given hope, some are not. The law of large numbers has caught up. Well, the larger the, and that's true. No longer can you keep, like you said before, if you're selling 2 and you sell 4, you're up 100%. So no longer are they up 50 and 100%. They're still up 20%. Fuck you people. Truly and Vizzy are driving the volume in dollars. White Claw is stable. Smirnoff is down along with local seltzers. This is per Midwest wholesaling group. And there's too much churn in products going on, with new varieties getting most of the attention from consumers. That appears to be what's driving Truly and Vizzy to the top. From a
I don't know
supply,
why. I don't know why that's driving Truly to the top, because they've been like the number 2 horse the whole time. You know what I mean? Maybe they're just taking over White Claw. I don't know.
yeah, that's what it's saying. It's saying
Yeah.
if they're going to keep climbing and White Claw's going to stabilize, then someone's got to get above the other one. Now let's look at a wholesaler in the Southeast. Seltzers are growing, but not setting the world on fire. My favorite thing to keep saying.
Mm.
Yes, seltzers have definitely slowed down, but so did our overall business in May. Our seltzers were only up 5%. That compares to the whole business being down 13%. So overall, seltzers represented 1.8% of our total volume, but that's only up 0.3% over a previous year. And the way seltzers are acting, and they are putting marketing budgets and so much money behind them, to have a 0.3 increase, that's not enough for what they're putting into it.
Yeah, you know what it sounds like to me? It sounds like the Great Pumpkin sale of 2014. You know what I mean? So 2014, we were going into 2014 fall. Pumpkins were on fire every year. We sold thousands of cases of pumpkins, and then shit hit the fan and nobody bought pumpkins. I think at the end of this summer, there's going to be some very cheap cases of seltzers. Look out.
Agreed.
People.
Now, the Southwest rep did say that there is one seltzer that is making a difference, even more than Vizzy and Truly, which is Carbosh Ranch Water, which is their number 1 seltzer brand over those big guys in the
Wow.
month of May. And that is, I think that may become a thing if everybody's going to lean towards regional beer. Why wouldn't they just be like, well, if I'm going to drink a seltzer, I might as well drink one that makes, that there's a chance my buddy makes it. There's a
You
chance that I know somebody that works.
you
there.
watch though. You watch. You know how New Belgium snuck in and won the IPA market. They might sneak in and win this freaking seltzer, like this regional, and they're not regional, but they might win this crafty kind of seltzer thing. I don't know.
With that fruit smasher.
Yeah.
I mean, our buddy definitely thinks that. That's why he's going all Gallagher.
Yeah.
I've noticed all of a sudden he does our show, and then 2 seconds later he's got his own podcast where he smashes fruit and promotes seltzer. I'm like, yeah, you're welcome for the idea, bro. Thank you. Wait, people want to watch me smash stuff. Yeah, Gallagher was famous too.
Yo, I'm moving on.
Dart, what you got?
I got Pastry Arky. The Pastry Arky from Duclaw. This is a banana bread pudding Hefeweizen. So Fool's Gold was the first peanut butter Hefeweizen that I remember made by Rusty Rails, and they did a fantastic job. It really is a natural for me to put banana with a Hefeweizen or peanut butter with a Hefeweizen, because it's what the beer is, you know what I mean? It's a banana kind of beer already without the banana. So we'll see. I don't know.
Sip this banana forward bread pudding delight. Your senses will be enveloped with aromas of banana, chocolate, cinnamon, clove, nutmeg, and confection, delivered on the backdrop of a classic spiced Hefeweizen. It is light to medium body, lightly sweet. Enjoy a traditional Hefeweizen vase, glassware of your choice. And it's 6.2 ABV. So, all right, it's got a little.
So it smells just like a Francis Connor. I don't get a lot of banana, or I don't get a lot of. It smells just like a maybe a Hofbrau Hefeweizen, one of those.
Traditional German macro.
I expected more banana and pudding. I get it's 98% German Hefeweizen, which I like. It's fine, and very little banana. So, if you're gonna make this beer and you're gonna call it that, you better make it taste like that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. Listen.
I like the beer. I like the beer for Hefeweizen, right?
But it could just be a Hefeweizen. I don't need all the fucking bells and whistles. Tell me, hey, you know what you make? You make a good Hefeweizen. It doesn't need to have all this cloves and cinnamon and shit. Just make me the Hefe. I'll drink that, especially for our area. I think our area is weirdly like white ale, like Wits and Hefes do kind of well. And
yeah, I mean, and they're great styles. I mean, if you ever had on a 90-degree day, a Tucher Hefeweizen with a lemon wedge in a 23-ounce, like big tulip glass. You know what I'm talking about? Those big fucking glasses. Oh my God. That is the shit. I love that. You're shaking your head.
No. You know what? Here's the thing. I actually don't mind. I've drinking enough Wits, and I think locally the people around here know how to brew them. I try to always figure out so why is Philly and New York such heavy Pilsner towns, but then we're like this weird Hefe and Wit town, and I just keep being like, well, a whole bunch of Quakers and Germans settled here. They settled there too, though. So,
but Pilsners are German too. I mean, it's
sure.
just,
yeah. It's just a little bit different.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the difference is. I guess maybe we just need a little bit. You know what it is? It's that this is farmland. And that's that wasn't that the whole thing. Didn't we review a beer that was the whole thing? They made it because this is the beer that basically they would make when they were working the fields because of
But I think that's more of a farmhouse saison. I think that's more of a saison style.
Yeah, you're right. All right. Now back to how bad seltzers are doing. Now let's look at a wholesaler in the Northeast, a large wholesaler in the Northeast. We plan seltzer at a 30 to 50% forecast.
Ooh.
That forecast is no longer looking to be conservative. Truly has done the best job with flavor innovation, with Truly Punch streaking up the charts, now our top seller. But the back half of the year could bring a big upside for seltzers as we'll be cycling out huge out of stocks in 2020. Now that is something that could help all these people because they were out of can. I mean, what was it? You couldn't get. You were like on some crazy pitch count for all that.
Yeah,
stuff,
you're
weren't you?
right. You're right. You're right. But as I see numbers trend, though, Truly has the best innovations, just like they're saying. Everything they're saying is right. And White Claw they're getting left behind. I'm telling you, they're getting left behind.
But there are no laws when you're drinking claws, bro. No laws. I don't even know what the hell that means, other than there's a whole internet thing with guns and White Claw.
Listen, when you were in your 20s,
Oh.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine me drinking fucking seltzers.
No, we weren't
Right.
even drinking Zima.
Right.
We would give Zima to our girlfriends and have them put the Jolly Rancher in.
Now
and
all the
enjoy.
dudes are drinking claws, you know?
Dude, and they're armed. It's the weirdest thing. Go look it up. I
I
thought
know.
it was a joke. I
It's
thought
bizarre.
it was a joke. This whole like when there's no laws when you're drinking claws. Going on to the rest. They
Yeah, they're
basically
dudes that drink claws, shoot guns, and have tramp stamps.
I need to not cover my mouth when we're doing a podcast, but wow. Yeah. Oh my God. Dude, tramp stamp. They're getting
Did you
I
ever
need
get
to
out
just-
south and walk the boardwalk in like Myrtle Beach and see dudes with tramp stamps? They're around. It's crazy.
No, I don't think I've ever seen that in Ocean City, Maryland. Thank
No,
God.
go down to
'cause I
Myrtle
was-
Beach. I mean Myrtle Beach.
Oh,
You gotta get
Myrtle
down to Myrtle Beach.
Oh, you gotta go
gotta,
real south.
you gotta go down south and see it. It's funny as shit.
All right. I am now on to my next one, which is called Walking Run from Dogfish Head. I'm very interested in this beer because I have no idea what the hell it means. It is called a Maine style pale ale. Let's see what. Okay.
It's
When you look at
Sam's funny way of saying New England style, because
Nope.
he doesn't want to be trendy.
Yeah. There was also a brand that used to say New Hoppy ales. Yeah, they took that shit off too. Walking Run is a hazy hoppy pale ale brewed from English pale malt, wheat malt, flaked oats for a pillowy, soft mouth flavor, a rush of citrus and tropical hops and aroma. But we're not going to mention what they are. It's 5.6%. So enjoy at either pace. All right. It's got a pretty interesting nose for like. All right, let's see here. So you are. I mean, you're a little cloudy. You're not. You're
It
not.
looks good.
It doesn't smell bad. It has a nice nose.
Yeah, it doesn't suck.
No, I'll take that back. I get this taste from a lot of brewers that don't brew New England, and then they brew in New England. I don't. I'd love to say that I don't have the capability to understand or to like, be able to explain what it is, but it's just not there. It's a solid beer. It's perfectly fine. It's like I can taste the grain build or something, and I don't want that in my IPA.
Is it bready? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I
do you
know
get
what
some
mean by-
bready? Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? No, that's probably what it is.
Yeah.
Even though it's obviously not bread because they don't put
It
bread.
shouldn't be bready, but
Yeah.
like sometimes you get that breadiness out of a beer. That sometimes it's good in a lager. I don't mind it in a lager, but you should never get that in an IPA.
Back to around the country and seltzers and how they suck. A large wholesaler house in West Coast said my favorite thing. We finished down in seltzer for May. Thank you. Since California got to save us.
Wow.
California and Oregon got to save us. We finished down in seltzer for the month of May. Truly still putting points on the board, but can't make up for the White Claw losses. Look at you, dude. You are prophetic. Lots of smaller brands are growing, but none to scale. We will be interested to see what the rest of summer brings. Overall, our business was only down 1% for us overall, the business was down 1% in May, with on premise more than doubling. Traffic on off premise has been declined measurably. Now, do you think that's a factor? That bars are opening up, people are going out, and so they're not sitting at home drinking claws because they want to go get drunk with their friends at the bar.
I don't know. I saw a lot of our numbers were really weird in May. I noticed White Claw was one that got affected. I also noticed that we were up a tremendous amount in domestic 30 packs.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't really know where that leads us into June. I like to look at quarters. Like to look at like bigger picture. Like 1 month is not a great judge. So, we'll see. We'll see where it goes.
And of course, the last section of this country, the North. What the hell is
So
the
what is that
North?
like Montana?
Yeah, like what is
Minnesota?
it? Minnesota?
Yeah.
Minnesota and Wisconsin. But let me tell you this. For one, the nicest people on the effing planet, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Two, you and I, we are the proper body type for Wisconsin. We are attractive. Listen, I've always thought I was a good looking dude and I've done well. I've outkicked my coverage. I'm married and I married a 12 and I'm a 6. I'm perfectly fine with that. But in Wisconsin, I was a clean 11. I was like, whoa. I wasn't even trying. Yeah, okay. And they're so nice. I'm so used to having to walk up to like 5 girls to, get 4 no's, get 1 yes. I'm still, listen, 3 for 10 gets you in the Hall of Fame, kids. 3 for 10 gets you in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
but
right.
but no, in Wisconsin, they'd all be like, yeah, well, I'll buy it. Hey, you can buy me a drink. You want to sit down and talk? Yes. What? What?
You mean you're not going to slap me upside the head?
100%. Like, you're not even going to try to like get me to buy you the drinks and walk away with your girlfriends. You're like,
Right.
no, come meet my friend. This is my friend Karen. Like, which one of us likes you most? I'm like, what the hell is? It's great. What does the North say? RTDs, FMBSs are beginning to seriously muddy the waters. It's a very interesting thing. In many aspects, we're still in the fog of war up here. All right, people, seriously, it's beer. With the beginning of what we pray is the end of the pandemic. I also think it's too early to tell, particularly with the light washed out February, like Memorial Day weekend. So they must have been cold too. I'm not sure it's the demand for seltzers that are waning, but it's the RTDs and FMBs that are beginning to seriously muddy the waters. I believe seltzers will prove not to be the on-premise phenomenon that it has been in off-premise. And the on-premise is raging back.
Look, man, we all knew that was going to happen. And I got to tell you, I'm going to speak for Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
I walk RTDs in every surrounding state that are in stores like ours or in stores like, the Giant or grocery chains or whatever it may be, have massive displays of RTDs, High Noons, Salsa, whatever it may be. They're all over the place. And White Claw and Truly don't even compare to those displays. So White Claw and Truly, they have it pretty easy right now in PA, because I walked into the state store tonight and I got a bottle of 1800 coconut and a bottle of Smirnoff, right?
Because you're
Now,
15?
I will get back to Smirnoff in a minute. Time out. So I walk in there. There is a miniature display of RTDs. I mean, miniature on the shelf. And they don't even know what they have at the state store. They don't know. They have no freaking clue. Sorry. They have no clue. They have no clue what they're dealing with. So if I had High Noon in our store, there would be a mountain of it somewhere.
Somewhere in the god dang front. What are you
You
kidding?
gotta put it. I gotta put a big presence of it. Now get back to Smirnoff.
Yeah.
I've drank Grey Goose. I've drank Chopin. I've drank Russian Standard. I've drank them all. Okay, we put them side by side. We put bottles side by side, chilled, and tasted them. Just tasted them plain, chilled, every one of them.
Yeah.
Blind taste test.
Yeah.
Smirnoff won.
Tito's.
No way, dude.
3 Olives.
No way. No way.
You know.
No way.
I mean, at least you didn't say Absolute or Sky.
No. I'm talking a real blind taste test.
Sure.
Like we literally did a blind taste test, and all these fucking $40, $50 bottles didn't even compare. And I like Belvedere, and I like Grey Goose. I drink dirty martinis, wave the vermouth over top of it. Don't even put it in there. You know what I mean?
Doing the little hand motion of just a spritz.
Yeah.
Salt Bay that shit.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, you of course they're gonna get the people who are like, vodka's a fucking hustle. That's why you drink tequila and rum, because it's just all the same shit, just a little bit different. And I agree with you. If I was gonna drink a non-super premium, I'm probably gonna lean toward Tito's or even 3 Olives. But Smirnoff was always.
But in all honesty, there's not a whole lot of difference.
No, it's fine.
You know what I mean? If I'm making a hard seltzer with some blueberry Waterloo seltzer and some vodka and some ice, like, you know what I mean?
Making your own RTDs over here.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
that's
you know
a smart
what?
man. I mean, listen, I appreciated the amount of times I heard brewers say to me, man, this seltzer would be great if I just put a little vodka in it. And I was like,
every time.
You mean like what we did before this? Like, okay, yeah, I understand that. This has been the
dumbest fucking trend I've ever seen in my life. The dumbest trend I've ever seen in my life.
I have to find the article. I read it. It was great. It was a dude who was talking about wine coolers and Zimas. And he was a writer in England and saying like how much he missed all of that. And then this seltzer craze happened, but it isn't in England yet. This was maybe last year or the year before. So he got his magazine to let him go to New York just for an article on drinking alcoholic seltzers. So he was all excited, called all of his friends, had this thing. And he said, like, all I was thinking about was the first time I drank Zima. And now he definitely lied by saying in his 20s and he meant in his teens. And he said,
we used to drop Jolly Ranchers in it to make it flavored a little bit. You know what I mean? It was good. It wasn't.
Listen, we all drank. The dudes drank whatever shitty party keg that was over foamed. And we all gave our girlfriends the Zimas and put either gummy bears or Jolly Ranchers in it. Oh my God, look, it turned blue for blue raspberry. Yeah, I remember that time.
Yeah.
That was a good time. But and that's what this writer said. He said he drank it with that anticipation and then was so angry. He was like, this is the worst tasting thing in the world. Why is this a big deal? And I said, well, that's why it's not a big deal in England, brah. And it probably is now. So on to our next article before I get to my last beer, which is another 10% beer, because JJ enjoys me being drunk by the end of these. Atwater Brewing, which was bought by Molson Coors last year, is going through another brand rebuild. So it did a market expansion in 2018 after refreshing its brand in 2016. Now that's 2 brand refreshes in 2 years. It now finds that the new creative direction will also be reflected on the forthcoming displays, social media, and retail point of sale. It is to drive brand awareness. Now, I will say, I think that their last brand refresh was horrible. I thought that I really liked Atwater.
But it's been horrible. Like their whole brand awareness, like their whole packaging and artwork has been terrible.
Mm-hmm.
It's been terrible. I don't know.
I think beforehand it wasn't, and then they went with these cool Detroit artists, but you had no idea what the hell they were like.
It's hard to tell a story. Like they're not telling the story.
Yeah,
Like
they weren't even.
if you knew it was a Detroit artist and it was cool and local, maybe you'd get into it, but you couldn't. You didn't know that. Nobody knew
No.
that.
No one knew it, and it was just like this thing. Now, I will say that I can see the new cans, and the new cans are basically 50% one solid color, the name of the beer, and then that Atwater, the dude with the mug. It's at least clean. It tells you what the F you're drinking. I don't need to know like how esoteric that you're, Renaissance painter for what. And also they had what was it? I think it was Wango or one of their ones.
Wango Mango.
Yeah. They didn't realize until afterwards that the artist had drawn the girl was how do I put this delicately? She was manually stimulating the man in the artwork.
I
but
didn't
you
notice
didn't know
that.
it. Yeah, they're in the
didn't
car
notice.
together, and her hands in his lap pointed up in a fist. It's like, oh, hello. I like it. It's very nice. Okay.
I mean, I bought a lot of Atwater at $8 a case. So over the years, I think I've bought more Atwater at cheap levels than any other product I've ever bought at cheap levels. And they continue to do it. So in my opinion, they should not do a third brand refresh. They should scrap the brand and totally rename it.
Oh, really? And just bring Vanilla Porter and Dirty Blonde to something else?
I don't even sell that.
What?
It's
Wait,
bad.
No, Vanilla Porter, right? I'm not wrong.
I don't even carry it, dude. I don't carry any Atwater. None. Zero. I cut the SKU. It doesn't. I can't do it anymore.
It's a shame.
They sit on the shelves. I can't do it.
So then for Vanilla Porter, you just bring in Breckenridge?
Yeah.
Well, it's just delicious. Can't be.
Well, it's Budweiser and Miller Coors. What does it matter? Right?
True. Son of a bitch. True. All right. Now I'm on to my next one. And here we go, because I drink big or go home. This is called non-alcoholic from Burley Oak and Tripping Animals. This ale is a real hoot, flapping in at 10% ABV. This beer showcases a blend of Citra, Nelson, and Mosaic. Rest assured, we kept the owls in the roost for this brew, but slipped in some fresh pineapple and juicy orange for some super zesty tail feathers. 10% ABV. I really hope this is good. I have some expectations for this beer. Okay. You smell phenomenal. You look right. I like it. Looks right. All right, guy. Oh, but I can smell the sweetness. You didn't hide the 10%. I definitely get a lot of fresh pineapple. It's nice. I wanted a lot more from the Nelson. Really like Nelson. It is it doesn't hide the alcohol as well. If it hit it a little bit better, this would be awesome, because it would drink like a drinker and just get you floored. But I will say, in Ocean City, Maryland, or Berlin, where Burley Oak is, this would be a great beer to have like 3 of, stumble off of your stool and walk home.
Let this be a lesson or a public service announcement. In life, people, lower your expectations.
Do you remember Mad TV, JJ?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Do you remember they used to do that skit? Lowered
Yeah.
expectations.
That was fantastic.
100%, man.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, you're right. I just had too much hype built behind this, and I was like, yeah, I'm ready. Give me this. Put it in my mouth hole. Num, 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 num. It's nice. It's very nice. But a 10% triple IPA that's supposed to taste like pineapple and yum. I wanted more. I wanted more. So the next article I have, or are you drinking something different?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
Now it's funny. It's going to look like this is for like, why is he throwing in this one? And I'm wondering it too, other than it was in two different beer industry publications. And it states Amazon backs marijuana legalization. Okay, let's read this. Amazon endorsed federal legalization of marijuana and has put lobbying dollars behind it. The mega retailer has also said that it would stop screening for cannabis in its hiring processes. And for those positions that are not regulated by the Department of Transportation. Reports Marijuana Business Daily. JJ, we need to start subscribing to that newsletter. That sounds like a more fun one than we read every week. Also, there is something called the Marijuana Opportunity Reinvestment and Expungement Act, which is actually a really good thing. What they're basically saying is that in states that legalize, or if we federally legalize marijuana, you need to get your record expunged if you've been busted for like small time bullshit.
Good.
Yeah, 100%, man. And it passed the House in December, and it still has not been brought up through the Senate. I do find it interesting. So why would two different beer publications put this? Because I have found that in our industry, the beer wholesalers think they're going to be the ones first in line for a 3-tiered system for marijuana.
Correct.
What do you think?
That's the way Pennsylvania seems to be shaping up. I mean, that's for sure. I see no reason. Why wouldn't they want to listen? An ounce of honey is worth more than a gallon of gall, right? So the more money you throw at it, they're going to remember who you are. You know how politics works. I mean, Jeff Bezos isn't dumb, and neither are any of these wholesalers that want to get in the game. Pennsylvania, it seems like the distribution network is going to go through the three-tier system, and we as D's are going to be the preferred for beverage, for the THC beverage. I don't know how the flower and the edibles are going to work. I'm sure there's already a system set up, and you know that as well as I do. But as far as beverage goes, I think it's going to go through the 3-tier system.
I agree. Currently in Pennsylvania, it is medical only, and it is a 1-tier system. So that means if you are to open a dispensary, you also have the ability to grow in a Pennsylvania farm, and you have a transportation fleet and security to bring it from farm to to retail location, and that's it. There's no middleman, which is super interesting to me. I guess that's the same thing as saying your local brew pub regionally wholesaling, but that's a very interesting concept.
It's funny that the whole testing process is kind of funny though. Like I remember being in my teens and 20s. You go for a job interview, you take a piss test. Oh shit, I'm drinking 10 gallons of water the day before, and I pass it. You know what I mean? You're pissing out water. And you can get by those things. Whatever. The whole
allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
Yeah, I wouldn't have any
you have no clue about that. I know.
None.
You're yeah.
No. I mean, listen. The funnier thing to me when you were talking about testing was I remember, when I was in college, I went to Amsterdam, kids, and it was a lot of fun. And one of the things I got to do in Amsterdam, because I'm super cool, I was I judged the Cannabis Cup, not in Colorado, children's, in Amsterdam. And they used to ban anything over 24% THC. And I bet right now, if you went into a dispensary, people would be like, yo, what do you got? What's the highest? What's the highest? What's the highest? And there's like 30s and almost to 40s. I know that Ice Cube actually on the West Coast, he has 3 strands, and his 3 strands they advertise are the biggest strands they are. And they're all over 40% THC
Well, don't
in
Belushi
flower.
Farms aren't Belushi Farms? Don't they have one that's real high too?
They might. I don't know. I just remember I literally just heard Ice Cube on a podcast talk about his like OG Connect. He's like, it's 43% highest in the industry, son. And I'm like, oh wow, that's just I was like, and 24% used to be illegal in Amsterdam. So that's the world has changed with this. And I hope it gets three-tiered because there needs to be checks and balances.
Do you know what's crazy? There does need to be checks and balances because I like the edibles. I haven't smoked in a long, long time. I don't really enjoy smoking anything anymore. Just how I've developed in life. I used to smoke every day for like 15 years, so it's I've just changed, you know. So now I'll do some edibles and I make some oil, and it depends, you know. If you eat a whole spoonful and a quarter spoonful, whole spoonful, you're like you're fucked for the day and maybe through the night into tomorrow morning. Like, so you really got to regulate the milligrams. I don't know how you do that. I'm not a
well,
scientist.
No,
I'm a scientist in my own
actually,
crock pot.
yeah, exactly. So unlike Heisenberg over here, there is actually a system developed by a former executive of one of the largest pharmaceutical companies in the country to measure potency of edibles, and he's got a patent on it, and he's one of the people they all have to go to. It's a very interesting thing when you look into it. The best joke I heard was there's a couple podcasts and a couple late night shows that say there's not one LA mom that they know that doesn't have a couple edibles in their bag if they need them, because everybody needs a gummy bear every once in a while. And I was like, wow.
And you know what?
This
The 5 milligram and the 10 milligram gummy bears, it's
are
like
for children.
I understand. I do understand that. So, but they caught the edge. Do you know what I'm saying when I say
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Like they caught an edge. You're still completely sober, but they kind of caught the edge. But if you eat half of a nerd rope, 100 milligram nerd rope, you're fucked.
100 milligram?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So in Amsterdam, there is a bar called Abraxas. And Abraxas used to be the only place in the world that sold marijuana milk, hash milkshakes, and marijuana muffins. Now, again, kid, this is like early 2000s, like 2000, 2001, 2002. And they would stamp your hand every time they gave you a milkshake because they put 3 grams of hash in each milkshake.
Wow.
And they'd say, okay, here's your milkshake. And they'd give it to you. And I've never seen this in my life before. And since they give you a set of instructions when you milkshake, it's like, this is what this is. This is how long it's going to take for your body to process. There's pretty much nothing you can do if you drink all of it and you start to feel the effects. But the big thing they said was once they stamped your hand twice, you had to wait 45 minutes if you wanted another milkshake because you needed to start feeling
Why would
the
you
effects.
drink 2 of those?
I was sitting there for like
Did you drink
3
2?
hours. Yeah. Oh, I was on another planet. This was also the first time I had ever smoked out of a vaporizer. Because tell me who 22 years ago had a vaporizer? Nobody. But they gave us a bag and they were like, this is how you do this. I was like, this is crazy. It was the coolest bar ever. It was a bar with glass floors. So it was 3 stories. You could see the stories below you. It was so wild. And they had on, I'll never forget this way. Also because I stared at the TV a lot. Israeli MTV, which was playing early 90s Beavis and Butthead and Daria episodes while I was sitting there. Both times. Weirdly,
while you're
both
wasted
times.
on a hash milkshake.
100%. 100%. Dude, when they gave you a brownie, it was straight up green. It wasn't like a normal, not a brownie, it was a muffin. It was just straight up. It was like, this is a banana bread muffin, and it was green. Straight green, and you would just be like, oh, you just look, and there's just green flakes everywhere. Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah, I did do 2 milkshakes twice in my life, and you sat there for hours. hours would go by. Hours would go by. I'd try to roll J's. That shit did not work. I had my buddies roll J's. Yeah, it was. Amsterdam is a really awesome place to go. You don't have to go there anymore. But now, enough of weed talk. JJ, do you have a fourth beer? Come on, help me. No.
Let me go to the fridge. Hold on.
While JJ goes, let's see. What can we talk about? We drive on our parkways and park on our driveways. Why is that?
Leftover King Sue.
Oh, there we go. A little King Sue. I mean, it's not like that's gonna. So, have you had the double dry hopped pseudo?
No.
No. I like double dry hop pseudo.
Do you?
Yeah, maybe. So it's one of those things where you're like, I don't know.
So I started doing these pre-orders. You know, I'm doing these pre-orders, right?
Sure.
At the store. So I get this pre-order from a random wholesaler. I won't mention any names. I guess you'll understand after I tell the story.
Sure.
All right. So I get this pre-order from the wholesaler, and I get like 5 a day. It's fucking irritating, right? You know who I'm talking about, right? So I get like 5 a day. So it comes through for this one that I really like. It says landing next week. So I quick put together the pre-order for us, you know. Ah, shit, I got to get this out. I get it out. Put together a pretty nice order. I go to submit it today. After I submit the order, it says beer landing late July.
What the?
I'm like, what the F? So I called the rep. You know who the rep is.
Oh,
and I'm like, yo, your email says landing next week. And the response to my fucking pre-order says July. Now I got to go back and eat shit to my customers.
What was his response?
He chokes on his words. You know how he is.
Well, hey, what can I say?
I'll put it all out there for us.
Yeah, I know. Next topic is draft disconnect as on-premise opens, but draft lags. And their explanation is brewery backlash. Yeah, 10% starting to get on me.
What does that mean? Brewery backlash.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's so easy to say. Huh? Mm-hmm. On-premise is back, but draft beer isn't, and that's a disconnect. COVID restrictions, blah, blah, blah. What's most worrying is that the weak draft numbers. So draft production is up 35% in March, but still down 26%. Why is this? So then you look, keg volume is 25% down from 2020 and 40% down from 2019, when draft was close to almost 10% of U.S. production of beer. Then too, of course, April, tax pay, blah, blah, blah. Shipments are up. So why? I don't fucking buy this. Delivery to go and bottles and cans versus draft. These are the 4 key reasons that draft recovery is lagging behind. Delivery and takeout have gained some of the market share, and they ain't giving it back anytime soon. So consumers are collectively spending about as much outside the home as they are in during pre-COVID, without spending nearly as much time outside of the home. Doesn't make any damn sense. People are going out to eat more than they are going out to drink. Census Bureau tracked restaurant data versus non-restaurant sales show that they match up pretty evenly. Third, the places people are going are more likely to be lower service and more food-centric. And
I don't totally believe that.
Fourth is some people may be still choosing bottles and cans over draft. A survey showed that 35% of respondents agreed that they've been choosing drinks in bottles and cans since the start of COVID-19. What?
Well, look, Number one, those numbers to me are indicative of two things. Number one, breweries are afraid to make a lot of draft because they don't want to go into the fall, right? Ramp up production. You go into the fall, we're having another setback. They just don't want to do that. So you're seeing a lot of out of stocks. You know it. We're all seeing a lot of out of stocks, right? So let's face it, that has a lot to do with it. Number two, bars are more likely to bring in cans and bottles now. I think it's more manageable. Honestly, if I was a bar, I know the numbers and the volume and the profit you can make on draft if you have the right people managing it and pouring it. But you can limit. So you say you limit that because out of stocks are so bad. Maybe you limit that, but you also bring in some cool, unique stuff that you can't get in draft in cans and bottles. And that would be a great way to run your bar at this point, in my opinion.
So do you think that that is just simply because the breweries haven't decided to sort of flip the switch and be like, okay, no, we're going back to making money the old way? Or do you think that that is now a new paradigm of the way the world works?
I don't think it's a new paradigm in the way people view restaurants or going out to dinner or going out to the bar. I think it's more to do with breweries and bars, more to do with breweries limiting and having out of stocks.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I was thinking about it too. And it was one of the funniest things I noticed at the AC Beer Festival were how many of the brands were pouring out of cans. They weren't pouring out of draft. And these are their own breweries. Like, it's not like it's, and also the one thing about
I got another thing to add here, but go ahead.
No, I was just to say, the AC Beer Festival, if I'm at any of the tents, even the tents of like the bigger dudes are bringing big gun people to come talk. And a lot of them were pouring can. Cole, our buddy Cole, he was there with 2 New Jersey sales reps, and they're like the dude who does Northeastern United States sales manager. And they were just pouring cans. Even some of those smaller Jersey breweries who are their owner, brewer.
So let's talk about marketing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you go to a bar, let's say you go to Liberty Street, and Liberty Street's a great craft bar. And I don't know how they operate. I'm not going to pretend I know how they operate. However, I
have some idea.
You do. So let's say they have a pretty cool IPA on. How do they serve it?
10-ounce pour.
10-ounce pour in what kind of glass?
I mean, it'll be an IPA glass. It'll be a small tulip.
But there's really not a logo on it, right? There's no logo on it. It's a it's a plain glass, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do these breweries want more than anything else in the day and age of marketing?
Wow. Yeah.
So from a brewery standpoint, they're marketing themselves. And quite frankly, they don't care. You know, I know Miller back in the day, this is 20 years ago, they started hating draft. And that's why they used to jack the price up every year, $5 a keg, $10 a keg. It would go through the roof. It used to be cheap. Now it's no longer cheap because your keg would go to a bar, the Miller Lite would come out, and a Miller rep would show up to the bar, and the person wouldn't know who he is. Sit at the bar, give me a Miller Lite. It would come out in a fucking Bud Light glass. What do you get out of that? What do you get out of that?
It's true.
I mean, think about it from a marketing standpoint.
So the largest premium seltzer brand in the world is Fever Tree. And the way they market it is to on-prem is serve it with the bottle. You know, it's like it used to say, if 2/3 of your drink is tonic, drink the world's best. And so they would serve it to you, and they would tell the people, give the customer the rest of the bottle, so they see exactly what they're putting in their drink. And they would sell this as the reason of saying, well, I can't just say I have Fever Tree and not actually give it to you. That was their logic. But no, their logic is exactly what you're saying. It's brand marketing. They want people to be like, oh, this is what this tastes like. And then I'm going to go to Wegmans or I'm going to go to whatever grocery store and I'm going to buy it there. And
Right.
that's exactly what that is.
Yep. It's all about marketing. And I think that may have something more to do with it. In all honesty, like in this whole paradigm shift, out of
Mhm.
stocks are important, but the marketing of it may have something to do with it.
That's true. That's true. I agree. Now, in conclusion of what you've drank today, JJ, what would you drink again? Other than King Sue, obviously.
Yeah. Honestly, I could crush a bunch of these Sour Me Americas. Yeah, ice cold, playing some cornhole in the backyard, 4th of July. Be a good time.
That was cool. JJ's drinking a sour. Write that shit down. Sunny lemon.
But you know
Get
what's funny?
Hmm.
I always get a touch of vomit from a sour. I don't know why it is. You know what I'm talking about?
No, because your palate is weird as shit. No, I don't know what vomit taste I get out of it. Listen,
It's like this little hit of vomit that I get. Listen,
still pretty good. I drink
growing
7 of them.
I'm growing to like it.
I drink 7 of them, but it does have a little bit of baby vomit, like adult vomit that's like nasty. But you know, like that little baby spit up, you know, you're like,
Right.
oh, baby spit up. But no, it's not horrible. What I would drink again is the Dreamscape 100% from our boys Abomination and Skygazer. I'd probably drink the non-alcohol and that about it. And I think on that bombshell, ladies and gentlemen, time for us to say goodbye. JJ,
Thanks for watching.
thank you for watching. This has been Arrogance and Ales.
Hold on. Jeez. I've dropped the ball here. Hold on.